Have you ever tried to buy a badminton racket and felt completely lost with so many options and all the confusing terms thrown at you? Head heavy, stiff shaft, 3U, 4U. The more you try to figure it out, the more overwhelming it gets. I get asked this question all the time. Which racket should I choose? Instead of just giving you a list of rackets, today I'm going to help you understand how to choose the perfect racket for your skill level, playing style and comfort. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for so you never have to guess again. So let's get right into it. There are three main aspects that you need to keep in mind while selecting a racket. The racket weight, its flexibility or stiffness, and the racket balance. Badminton rackets come in different weight categories, 2U, 3U, 4U, 5U and so on. Though the only sensible and largely available options are the 4U, which weighs 80 to 85 grams, and the 3U, which weighs 85 to 90 grams. You can generate greater momentum with a heavier racket if your technique is sound and you have sufficient time to generate that acceleration. Which is why you see a lot of singles players preferring slightly heavier rackets. Lighter rackets, on the other hand, allow for quicker movements, which is more suited for doubles, where the game involves a lot of quick shots, such as drives, stabs, defense, where there isn't sufficient time for a good backswing. Additionally, if you're just starting out your journey in badminton, you might want to look at a slightly lighter racket as it's easier to handle and you won't feel as much strain on your shoulder. Before I move on to the other aspects, please check out badmintonwarehouse.com for their amazing range of rackets that you can choose from based on the inputs that I'm giving. A key factor in choosing a racket is how stiff or flexible the shaft is, as it directly impacts energy storage and transfer of that energy into your shots. A stiff racket is capable of storing and transferring more energy, but only if you have a fast and powerful swing. Think of it like this. If you bend both a stiff and a flexible racket by the same amount, the stiff one requires more energy to bend that far. This means it stores more energy, which then gets released into the shuttle when you hit the shot. However, this only works if you have the strength to generate a swing that causes the racket to flex that much. If your swing isn't fast or technically sound, you won't be able to generate as much whip, making the racket feel less powerful because the energy transfer isn't happening efficiently. A flexible racket, on the other hand, bends more easily. This makes it great for players who don't generate as much swing speed, as the racket itself helps create that extra whip and momentum. Now, apart from energy transfer, stiff rackets also provide more precision. Since they return to their original position faster, they allow for more controlled, accurate shots. Flexible rackets, while helping with power, take longer to stabilize after the shot, which can reduce accuracy slightly. So finally, which one should you choose? If you're still developing your technique or don't generate fast swings, a more flexible racket helps you get extra energy with less effort. However, if you are an advanced player and have a fast and technically strong swing, a stiff racket lets you store and release more energy, giving you more explosive and precise shots. Another important factor is how the weight is distributed across the racket. There are three types of balance: head heavy, head light, and even balance. The trade-off between different types is again higher momentum or power versus maneuverability or quickness of movement. In head heavy rackets, more weight is concentrated at the head of the racket, helping you generate powerful smashes. That's why singles players often prefer head heavy rackets. You of course would compromise a bit on the maneuverability of it. In head light rackets, more weight is towards the handle, making the racket easier to maneuver. This is great for doubles where a lot of fast exchanges and quick reactions are key. In even balance rackets, the weight is distributed evenly with reasonably good power and a good level of quickness. Basically a mix of both, making it a safe choice for players who want all-round performance. Personally, I have always preferred an even balance racket. While you now understand the key aspects to look into while picking a racket, there are a couple of other important points to keep in mind. Decide on a budget range that feels comfortable for you, which will narrow down the choice for you. While it's great to invest in a high quality racket, do not go overboard, especially if you're just starting out. The last point that I want to talk about is not about just choosing a racket, but also giving yourself time to adapt to it. When switching to a new racket, you might not feel comfortable with it at first, because small differences in weight, balance, or stiffness can throw off your timing and precision. My advice, however, give yourself at least a month of regular play with a new racket before making that judgment. Your hand, body, mind, they need time to adapt. Do not play with two or different models of rackets, even if you play singles and doubles, as it's in your best interest to get comfortable with just one type of racket. For a badminton player, a racket should feel like an extension of your arm, and that comfort takes time to build. So go ahead and get yourself a great racket now that you're equipped to understand what all the different terms mean. And of course, keep smashing.